Hey guys, and welcome back to the Gumboot garden. A few days ago I was talking about planting out your summer garden, and I had mentioned your cool weather and your warm weather crops, and today I just wanted to take a quick couple minutes to talk about the differences between them, because not all crops are created equal. Different crops need to go out at different points of the year, and not just all in one bulk sowing for that hot summer garden. So our warm season vegetables, they're the ones that we all get really excited for in the summertime. When we think of summer, we think of all of these crops that really love the summer heat. And that's your warm season crops. They can't be planted out too early in the season because if they get hit with a frost, they're either not going to make it or they'll be significantly damaged from that frost. So that's why we can't plant our seedlings out too early, because if they get hit with a frost, then they're surely not going to make it. And then even at the end of the season, if we plant our seedlings too late and we're not quite getting our harvest, we're waiting on it at the end of summer, and we get hit with a frost there, it's most likely going to either really damage our plants or kill them, and either way our harvest probably won't end up too good then either. So there's that fine line that we need to kind of sow our seeds and get our harvest within a certain period of time, which does vary depending on where you're living. We can sometimes extend this season by putting up high tunnels or some sort of greenhouse type thing that will keep our soil temperatures warmer and the air temperatures warmer to help protect those plants from any of the cool nights or frost that we might be getting at the beginning or end of the season. Even if we're not getting hit with a frost, but those nights really are cooling down, things like your cucumbers can't handle that, and you'll actually taste that the produce is bitter. Like your cucumbers will become bitter, and it will affect the actual taste of a lot of your harvest. So our warm season crops, those are things like your summer and winter squash, your zucchinis, your tomatoes, beans, cucumbers, eggplants, peppers. I'll put a list up here of a whole bunch of your warm season crops, so you can just kind of see which ones you really need to make sure are being planted in that hot summer sun. Okay, so our cool season crops, they do best in the spring and the fall. If you live in a place that has really harsh winters, or if you live in a more mild climate like myself, then we plant those all throughout winter. Now, these do best in those cooler temperatures, when the nights are cooler, the days are cooler, and they really can't handle being in that hot summer sun. So that's why we typically want to get them into the ground and harvested before the heat of the summer comes. So that's why we get those in, get those out, and then we get our warm season crops in throughout the summer. Now, these cool weather crops, they can handle a little bit of a frost, a light frost, and a lot of times that actually makes the harvest taste a bit better, because what it does is that light frost will turn all of the starches in your plant into sugars and really make that taste much nicer. However, on the other hand, if they're hit with that really hot temperatures of the summer sun, then that's when their produce really starts to decline. So that's when your radishes become really fibrous, and the lettuces and things like that, they will start to bolt. Now, bolting means that the whole plant is actually going to flower to make sure that the next generation is ready to come as they die, as that current crop dies off. So the bolting will occur when it gets too hot on your cool weather vegetables, and it often makes the leaves of your lettuce really bitter as well. So these cool weather crops are things like your onions, your leeks, your cabbages, broccoli, cauliflower, beets, carrots, Brussels sprouts, parsnips, spinach, did I say kale already? Your swede, and a whole bunch of things like that. So again, I will make a list on the screen here just so you can kind of see all of the different cool weather crops that there are. For both types of crops, you can usually find varieties that do okay in the opposite season that they're really meant to be grown in. It would be things like, you know, you might get something that won't bolt as quickly, things that can withstand maybe a little bit lower temperatures, but typically you just want to grow things in the season that they're meant for, and you'll get a better outcome with that. The other thing you do want to look for is, with all the different varieties that there are with your crops, you really want to look into it and see which ones are best for your area, because everyone has a different, you know, like summer or spring, fall. So you might find varieties that, you know, are quicker to harvest within like a 40-day window, while typically maybe it's an 80-day window. So if you know that your summer is shorter, you might want to get some of those crops that are able to get to harvest quicker, so you can get them in and get the harvest in before the frost comes. So that's one thing that you should be looking for when you are picking out your crops, is just varieties that are good in your area. But also it's good to know that you need to make sure you are knowing the difference between your warm and a cool weather crops, so that you're not just putting everything into the ground all at one time and then being like, well, you know, it's nice and sunny outside, why didn't my cauliflower grow as well as it should have? Or why can't I grow Brussels sprouts when it's like the heat of the summer? So it's the different things like that you really need to look for, and it does come with experience, but you can also find this when you're buying seeds. If you're buying them off of a website, or even on the back of the seed packet, it usually says how long it takes to go to harvest, and the best time that it is to sow those seeds. So that's your quick tip for today, guys. I'll catch you in tomorrow's video, and I'll see ya.